with Neighbor.
John, I always thought it was Bublé. The food Bublé. Oh, that's Michael. Imagine you're living in a townhouse that shares a wall with the townhouse next to it that has been rented to 5 young, noisy college students. And when I say noisy, the kind of noise where they run up and down the stairs and you hear every footstep, the noise that comes from loud music, boom, 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 the street noise from parties every weekend, because the owner of that house decided to rent to college students. Would that make you mad? A situation like that, living next to 5 loud students? Would you get angry at an owner who would rent to kids like that? Maybe. Well, that's happened to me. The funny thing about it is, the owner of the house, Thomas Chung, I know. Up to 3 years ago, he lived in that house with his wife and a young baby, until one day he said, I have to move to Asia for my work. I'm going to rent my house out because the market is so depressed I'll lose too much money if I sell my house. But I'll find some good tenants that won't bother you. And he was a very considerate owner. And for the first 2 years, he had other college students in there who, although were a little noisy, I was able to talk with them and say, guys, come on, keep it down. And they would keep it down. Or if there was some street noise, I'd go out in the street and say, all right, guys, it's enough. But this summer, I saw the college students who had been living there moving out. And I went up to one and said, why are you moving out? Thinking, well, they're already trained. I don't want them to leave. He said, well, the landlord, meaning the homeowner, Thomas, that I knew, has raised the rent so high that we can't afford it anymore. And some new kids from the suburbs are moving in. Well, the new kids from the suburbs were 5 young Indian boys who, when they got to that house, were like prisoners let out of jail. I mean, they went wild. First time in the city, first time in the house, in college, wow, girls and music and party, and I had to live with them. Boom, 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 boom. It got me mad. I didn't get you. And I thought, the landlord, the owner, Thomas, who was so nice, because he wants more money, is now renting to these kids. Why doesn't he just sell the place? Probably because he just wants more and more money. Greedy landlord. Well, as probably won't surprise you, these kids managed, during this cold winter, to burst not one, but 2 water pipes on 2 different occasions by negligently leaving the garage door open during those cold minus nights. And the garage has water pipes in it that go up to the house. The last time, the water was so deep that it froze to a 2-inch thick layer of ice throughout the whole garage. Now, you know, I was thinking, well, the owner's getting what he deserved for renting to these kids. And one day when I saw workmen down there cleaning up the mess, I went down to find out, the extent of the mess and see if it would affect my house, because we're right next to each other. I went up to one of the workmen. I said, hey, I see you're one of the workers fixing up the house. And before I could finish the sentence, he said, oh no, I'm the pastor. The pastor? He said, yeah, I'm the pastor. Now look at it. I'm a property manager cleaning up this mess. These kids are trashing the house. What do you mean you're the pastor? He said, yeah, I'm the pastor of the Chinese Baptist Church of the western suburbs, and we sent Thomas and his family to Asia to do missionary work. missionary work. And suddenly, the greedy landlord, renting just to make more and more money, became in my mind a victim of his renters because he was committed to his spiritual principles. He went from my arch enemy to a sympathetic victim. Now, I still had to deal with the kids, but boy, it changed my impression of my neighbor. And there was a lesson in that. A lesson for me and perhaps a lesson for you. The next time there's somebody making the inner alien come out, you feel that anger because you think it's a person with malevolent intentions. What you think about them makes you so angry. You should take a deep breath. Do some meditation. And then find out more about that person and what's going on. Because you might find out that this person who's bringing out the evil alien in you is a victim of circumstances just like my neighbor Thomas. So, you could continue to be angry in these situations, or you can remember there's another side to a story, and all you have to do is ask and find out what that other side is. Mr. Phillips.
Of course, you still have the noisy kids to deal with.